pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Jai Hind and a very good afternoon to our guest, Mr. M.A. Tejani, our MD, Dr. Jai Singh, all the faculty members, and my dear students. I, Ayushi Dwivedi, MC for today's session, welcome you all to this orientation program of Batch 2023-25. A very warm welcome to all of you gathered here today as we come together to honor and welcome a distinguished leader in the food industry. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you to introduce Mr. M.A. Tejani, the Managing Director of GITS Foods. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed?
You need my permission?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Mr. Tejani is a visionary leader who has played a pivotal role in shaping GITS Foods into the renowned brand it is today. With his expertise, strategic thinking, and unwavering dedication, he has taken the company to new heights, transforming it into a household name not just in India but across the globe. Under his astute leadership, GITS Foods has grown exponentially, expanding its product portfolio, reaching new markets, and capturing the hearts of food enthusiasts worldwide. Mr. Tejani's commitment to quality and his unwavering focus on customer satisfaction have been the driving forces behind the company's success. With a keen understanding of the evolving food industry landscape, Mr. Tejani has spearheaded numerous initiatives to ensure GITS Food remains at the forefront of innovation. He has embraced technological advancements, fostered a culture of creativity, and encouraged his team to think outside the box. We are honored to have him here with us today. We are eagerly look forward to hearing his insights and words of wisdom. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause to welcome the esteemed Managing Director of GITS Foods, Mr. M.A. Tejani.
Okay. Secondly, don't believe everything she said. I'm not such a great guy. If I was, I wouldn't be here. So don't believe her. Where's she gone? No wonder she ran away. Barabar. So don't worry. Now, see, I want to tell you a little bit about GITS story, just by way of human interest, nothing very great. See, all companies, all entrepreneurs, everybody who starts with a vision goes through various types of ups and downs because society, market, and all other things, nobody is ready to receive this kind of new product, especially when it concerns food. People are very slow to change. So I'll tell you that, and I'll show you some of the ads that GITS has made, which will give you a brief idea of the kind of products that we make. So we have three basic categories. One is the ready-to-cook mixes, which we started. And all of you would know our flagship product, Gulab Jamun Mix.
Yes, sir.
That's why I'm so sweet. And then we have a range of ready-to-eat foods, which I'm going to tell your directors to start in your cafeteria. So all of you must promise me to eat GITS every day.
Yes,
See, GITS is very good for health. My health. So that is the second category. The third category which we have come out with are the dairy products. Particularly, we do ghee. And the fourth category which we do are namkeens, but those are only for export. So this is what we are broadly doing. And in each category, there is a very wide range of products, and we are constantly developing new products, bringing in new improvements, studying the competition, studying the market, and that's how we survive and grow. So GITS is known for quality. So our quality policy is what? Can anybody tell me? Yes?
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Mansi Saraf. The quality policy is we will not sell what we don't relish ourselves.
Exactly. So,
Thank you, sir.
what does that tell you? How would you interpret that statement? You, again, give others a chance. Na? Bolo beta, bol.
Shows the quality that you provide to people.
Well, that's not entirely wrong, but it doesn't indicate the depth. See, each one of us when it comes to eating, wherever we might be at home or anywhere, we would always like to eat what is the best quality, most hygienic, most tasty and delicious, the kind of food that we don't have to worry about our health, nutrition, falling ill, adulteration, things like that. We don't want to eat anything which will make us ill. So we had a very silly quality policy earlier when we were first audited for the ISO 9000, 2000, I think it was 15 at that time, now it's 2020 something. So it was a damn silly policy, and I said that this doesn't tell the story as we want it to be told. That policy said, yes, GITS is known for quality, and quality is its reflection. I'm just speaking from memory, I don't even remember, it was so terrible. And GITS will do what, take steps to retain and attract customers and all sorts of rubbish. I said, scrap this policy, it is nonsense. It doesn't tell what we want to say. And I changed that. So my staff felt that the auditors might not approve the change. So I said, let the auditors go to hell. We will say what we want to say, not what the auditor wants to say. Right? You agree? Thank you. Okay. Anyway, now this was just by way of introduction, I will tell you GITS story. You already got it all. No? We started in 1963. The quality policy. What am I here for? I'm going. Goodbye. Achha. Anyway, so can we start with should I come there with you? Where's the screen? Oh, that's it.
कमजोर ग्लोबल संकेतों के चलते बाजार की सुस्त शुरुआत हुई।
अगर मार्केट में एक्सट्रीम उतार चढ़ाव हो और टेंशन बढ़ रहा हो तो जिग्नेश भाई की भूख क्रैश होगी ना।
सवाल ही नहीं बनता।
यहाँ बनता है गिट्स।
गिट्स स्नैक मिक्सेस।
हेलो, पापा's birthday. उनके फेवरेट दही बड़े बनाते हैं। You must be joking, mom. बस 3 easy steps. Mix in water, fry, put yogurt. क्यों? हुआ ना बर्थडे स्पेशल? अब मैं पापा के लिए मूंग दाल बड़े बनाती हूँ। हमने बनाया गिट्स से।
अगर सॉफ्ट इडली खाने का प्लान हो पर बच्चों के प्लान्स हो कुछ अलग तो सुबह सुबह परेशानी होगी ना।
सवाल ही नहीं बनता।
यहाँ बनता है गिट्स।
गिट्स ब्रेकफास्ट मिक्सेस।
मैं मालती, मैं बचपन से सुनती आई तेरी जगह रसोई में है। बड़ी हुई, शादी हुई तो भी तेरी जगह रसोई में है। कब तक? मुझे भी निकलना था रसोई से बाहर, एक ऐसी जगह जहां मुझे मिले मेरी पहचान, कुछ
सम्मान। दोस्त पूछते हैं तो हंसकर बोलती हूँ, मेरी जगह इस रसोई में है।
Okay. Can you see me? Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. Wow. All of you had a lot of tea or what? Shouting away like that. Okay. So now you've seen something about GITS. Yes? Briefly, I would like to add, let's see, this company was started in 1963 by you already got it. Why am I telling you? You already know everything. You saw it on the website. All of you? Yes, sir. Okay, then forget the story. What? Yeah. Okay. See, it was started in 1963 and GITS pioneered the manufacture of dehydrated food products in India in 1963 when it was unheard of. Nobody knew about this. And typically when we entered the market with these kind of products, there was a lot of resistance, suspicion, and doubt. So people thought that these products are unhygienic, unhealthy, full of preservatives, harmful to health, all kinds of whatever negatives you can think of, all people began to think. So my father who started the company was a visionary. I'm not the visionary, he is. That he said that we were in a market with products before our time. These were not so readily accepted as now. New food products come, everybody wants to try them. That hesitation about trying new food products or that doubt which existed does not exist anymore. And new products are not only eagerly anticipated, people are ready to try them regardless of the price. In those days, price was also a very big factor. How many were you born before 1963? I was. Right. So, anyway, that was it. So, we started with a very small range of 4 products, and then with in-house R&D, we expanded the range, some of which you have now seen. You can see the rest on your laptop or what have you got, or your smartphone. No laptop, no smartphone. How come they don't have smartphones? Oh, your phones are upstairs. Achha, that reminds me, you can keep my phone. So that okay. So since everybody already knows about GITS, so as we went on increasing, then there were a number of competitors, of whom the most prominent was Hindustan Lever, which is not Hindustan Lever now, and it is Hindustan Unilever. Right. Oi, they already know everything. What am I doing here? Okay. So, Unilever and Nestle. So they came out with a similar range of products, but thankfully both said, not for us. GITS is doing fine. Let it be. Uske liye chhod do. So they withdrew. Just a small incident that when Hindustan Lever initially launched their products in the brand name of Hima, have anybody of you heard it? Has anybody heard of Hima peas? Wow. Achha, anyway, that shows you were not born in 1963. So, Hima peas was their flagship product. It was dehydrated peas. Remember, in those days, there were no cold storages, no frozen foods, nothing. So, you could get fresh vegetables only during the season and not otherwise. So, either you bought canned peas or canned vegetables, which were available and were usually purchased only by restaurants. Because if you go to a restaurant and ask for pea pulao and there are no peas, how will he give you peas pulao? So he'll open a tin of peas. So what Hindustan Lever did was to do dehydration, so which is less expensive in terms of packaging, does not require special storage, is easy to transport, easy to use, and so on. So that was doing very well, Hima peas. So then they saw GITS. So they said, GITS ka to bahut chalta hai. Let's do it. So they came out with the GITS products, same range, and gave us very tough competition initially. Because remember, in those days, there was no TV, there was no smartphone, there was no phone. So if you wanted a regular landline phone, have you seen a landline phone? Yes, sir. Oh, good. Because that was the only kind of phone available, and there was a 10 to 20 year waiting period for one phone in those days. And then when you got the phone, it didn't work. So anyway, then this was the situation, and we had a very tough competition with Hindustan Lever. But eventually, Hindustan Lever gave it up. Now, my presumption is that they didn't give it up because we were a strong competitor. They gave it up because at that the market was too small for them. But it was okay for us. So they quit. Now, because of the efforts that they had already made, they had expanded the market quite a lot. And then they left. So the field was open for us. We had a very rapid growth after they quit. And when I joined the company in 1970 after my graduation, I'm not speaking too fast for you, right? Everybody can hear me clearly? Yes, sir. You can understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Good. So around, it was I think 1970 or 71. So I was sitting in my office with my dad, and Hindustan Lever distributor came in to meet us. He was known to us. And he said that Hindustan Lever has got a lot of unsold stock of same kind of products. And mind you, Hindustan Lever products were good. I'll not say just because they were my competitor, therefore their product was bad. No, it was a very good product. So they said, you buy this from us, put it in your GITS box and sell it. So their price, say whatever if it's like say priced at 1 rupee, we'll give it to you for 25 paise. Now if it is priced 1 rupee and they're giving it for me at 25 paise, that means 75 paise is my profit per pack. Now you would say it's say 10 rupees. So what is my profit? Huge. So what should I have done? What would you do? See, this is where you need to think. If you were in my place at that time, what would you do? Would you accept that offer? No. Wow. You don't need to teach them anything here. Because pehle hi sab malum hai. So that's exactly what I did. And why would you say no? One at a time, please. Yes.
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Mansi Saraf.
Don't repeat it, boss. Keep going.
Okay, sir. The quality the gets serving is may be different from Hindustan Unilever, so that's why.
No, I already told you the quality was excellent.
But sir, there can be a minor difference, no? So the customer may face.
Now, in those days, sit down. In those days, you see, the Package Commodities Rules, the Food Safety Standards Act, etc., did not exist. So there was no particular requirement of statutory labeling or printing the name and so on and so forth. So if we had taken the unprinted pouch of Hindustan Lever and put it in our box which had the GITS name on it, and as you say, if somebody didn't like it, whose name would get spoiled? Now I can't risk that. So see, although the profit was very tempting, it would not have been a right decision. Yeah? And all of you agree? Yes, right. So if I wish I was so clever. Yeah? I was not so clever. Anyway, so now that was what happened in 1970. So after that, then many years, small competitors came. Then Nestle came, big time. Nestle is a very tough customer. And of course, then by that time, all your TV and everything had started. So Nestle used to do huge promotions to hit us. And of course, we had to counter and all that. But eventually, for some reason, Nestle also gave up. Now, in India, GITS is number one in terms of brand recognition, quality, and all, which I'm sure all of you have tried at home. Yes, sir. Is there anyone who has not tried GITS? Put up your hand. All of you have had GITS products at home? Yes, sir. Each and every one of you? Yes, sir. Wow, I'm proud, yeah? Kya kamal hai? Achha. So anyway, coming back to this thing, so that Nestle tried and ultimately gave up, probably because their product was not as, say, preferred and popular as ours was, and they withdrew. Now, the only competitor of serious note that we have is MTR from the south. Right? But their products, of course, is not right for me to say that it's not as good as us, but that is the truth. If you don't believe me, try it yourself. Yes, then Sadanand Maiya, the owner of MTR Foods, incidentally, how did MTR start? You don't say anything. Achha, anybody else? What does MTR stand for? Anyone? Okay. Lucky for you, I was born in Bangalore. You see, in Bangalore, anybody been in Bangalore? Anybody from Bangalore? No. Okay, doesn't matter. See, Bangalore used to be known as a garden city in the 50s and 60s when I was a child over there. And there used to be a huge garden called Lal Bagh. Yes. Just outside of Lal Bagh, there was a restaurant by the name of Mavalli Tiffin Room, MTR. And it was so popular that any tourist, any visitor to Bangalore was advised that they must go and eat some dosa or idli at Mavalli Tiffin Room because it is so good, which it actually wasn't, but that was the name. Right. Now, remember in the 60s, there was a terrific shortage of food stuff. So the restaurants were given rations and, it was a terrible mess. Indira Gandhi's time. So the restaurants were stopped. They were not given a quota of rice. Now for idli, you need rice. So no rice. So Mr. Sadanand Maya, who was the owner of that place, devised what came to be known as the Rava Idli. How many of you eaten Rava Idli? All gits only, no? Okay, so Rava Idli. He devised that as a substitute because that was available. Wheat and wheat products were available, only rice was in short supply. And then he started making a mix and he started packing it and selling it only in his restaurant. And from there, the business of MTR took off. And both of us grew in parallel. And at one stage, about 10, 12 years ago, Mr. Maya suddenly decided he had enough. And he sold the business, complete business for 400 crores to a Norwegian company called Orkla. They still own it. And of course, they've aggressively taken it forward because they got plenty of money. Yes, I haven't won a lottery yet, so I can't do the same. But I don't want to sell goods either. No? So even if somebody gives me double the amount of money, should I sell it? No. That's it. So anyway, that was the story basically. And till today, MTR and GITS. MTR dominates in the south and we dominate in the north and east. Let's say this side of, from Maharashtra up. Right? And that's where the position in brief is today. Of course, we are also tops in exports. We started the export of the food products, processed food products from India sometime I think in 1967. Yeah, at that time there were hardly any export of food. There were no food products which were considered export worthy. See what kind of food products were being made in 50s and 60s. Again, since you guys were not born, have you ever seen an orange squash or lemon squash? Yes, what is that? Okay, see jams and jellies you know. Then there used to be this kind of squash in this kind of glass bottles made by Kisan. It's gone out now. It's nobody ever buys it anymore. So, but that was in those days a hot product, hot seller, right? And there was something called Crush. I don't know what the hell it was, but anyway, that was very popular too. It was a bottle product. Otherwise, you got just so that was the range. Then slowly pickles started coming in and other small manufacturers. And if any of you remember the name Dr. Writers? No? Okay. Dr. Writers made pasta. Excellent products. But unfortunately, they couldn't sustain, closed. Likewise, if you might remember Polson's butter. Anybody remembers Polson? You do? You ate Polson's butter?
I have read on, sir, actually I have read on the case study on Amul and Polson.
Yes. But unfortunately, Polson also closed. But Polson butter was far superior to Amul in taste. So as a child, I used to prefer Polson butter. But then Polson closed. So now there's only one brand, that is Amul. Okay. So is that good enough background for you? Yes, sir. Not bored yet? No, sir. You want me to continue? Yes, sir. Good. Let's continue. Okay, now, where the hell is it? Go. You take this out, yeah? Dangerous for me. Okay. Right. Just move it up, move it up. Okay. So now, here I am today to give you an insight into what you can expect to learn while you are here. Right? Of course, there's a lot to be said, but first I think we'll go through this. Then I will tell you the importance of communications, self-learning, and how to think and analyze before you take any decision. But before we go on to this, I want to know how many people here know the story of Noah's Ark? You do? Are you Christian? Tell us.
Jan, sir. Noah was a God person. God ordered him to make a ship and tell him after few months there will be a rain. So he started making the boat, but some people criticize him and called him stupid, etc. But he chose to follow the God's order, and when the and God's one order was that take one pair of animals and birds with him. After completing the ship, the gods started the rain, and he closed the door. So he followed the god's order and decided to follow the god's order. Thank you, sir.
Well, that's the story in a nutshell. Sit down, sit down. See, if just to kind of clarify, there are three, they say, three religions in the world which are considered to be of divine origin. You may or may not agree with it. I'm just telling you how it is described. What are those three religions? So the first was Judaism, the Jewish religion, which culminated with the prophet Moses. The second religion that continued in sequence after death of Moses was Christianity, Jesus. And the third after Jesus was Islam. Now these three are considered as revealed religions, not discovered religions. What are discovered religions? Hinduism, Buddhist, Jainism, and the Chinese, Shinto, the Japanese, all those are religions devised by human beings and not claimed to have originated from Almighty God. But as far as the Bible and the scriptures are concerned, for the three revealed religions, they all follow a pattern. And they say messengers or prophets were sent down by God to guide the human race from on the right path and prevent it from going on the wrong path. But people are people, so they always go to the wrong path. Wrong path is a bed of roses. No? The right path is full of thorns. Who wants to go there? So, one of the messengers sent by the Almighty was named Noah. In the Bible, in the Quran, it is known as Nuh. But this is the basic term. I don't know what the Jews call it. But anyway. Then, like this young girl said, the people during that time became very wicked and sinful, brutal, theft, all kinds of evil that you can think of, all kinds of wickedness that you can think of, they were doing. When the prophet Noah was sent down to that community to try to take them to the right path, he preached for 950 years. How much? 950 years. But still they wouldn't listen. Now, of course, you may ask a question, how can anyone live for 950 years? I agree. I also don't know. But maybe their years were shorter. So, 950 years, he kept struggling. They wouldn't listen. So, finally, he prayed to God that, see, these people are not listening to me, and what should I do? So, God said, build an ark. What is an ark? Basically, it's a large boat. Right? And then, after that, what? So he said, take a pair of each and every animal and bird into your ark. Also, those of your community people who would like to join you, take them. Then what? Get into the ark, stock food. I will send down rain and create a flood. So, according to the Bible, when all this happened, I will show you this. The rain rained non-stop for 40 days and nights. And there was a huge flood. But all people drowned, except those in Noah's ark. So it floated in the water for a while, and eventually when the water subsided, it stopped upon a hill, which is still now known. It has been discovered. And from there, then he was ordered by God to open the ship and let out all the animals and birds and everything, and that is how the earth was repopulated. Now, that is the story. The point is, what do we learn from this? And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. That what lessons does this episode or this story, what lesson does it hold for us? What can we learn from this? So, since none of you have heard of Noah, none of you have heard about the ark, I think you might find it interesting. Now, I've tried to make it a bit audio-visual so that your interest will remain. All right? So, everything I need to know, I learned from Noah's ark. Look at the ship, image of the ship. It's a wooden boat. In those days, there was no steel, no metal, nothing. So, everything had to be wood. Okay, please. So, first, the animals. Notice the animals. Here. And they're going towards the ship very peacefully. Okay. So now the animals have got in. So now is the turn of the humans.
Everyone, up the ramp! Onto the deck! Come on! Hurry, hurry! Phil, get back inside! It's too dangerous! No, Dad. I told you I'm with you.
See, the animals are already inside. And the humans have gone in. Now this I've taken a clip from a modern film. That's why you see people in modern clothes speaking English. See, in those days they didn't speak English, no? Right? So everybody gets into the ship. Okay. Let's see then what happens. See, because of the rain, flood. Notice the ark. This is the picture. It says, plan ahead. It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark. Go back to the previous slide. What does it say? First one is, remember, we are all in the same boat. The previous one to this was? This one, no, the first one. Don't miss the boat. Okay, now go back to number 3. Yes, plan ahead. See, it wasn't raining when Noah built the ark. So plan ahead. That if you can foresee what might happen in future, it's not necessary that you may always be right. See, we very nearly gave up because when my father started the company, it wasn't doing well. So we thought, now we are running out of money, maybe we should close the business. We were that far ahead. But circumstances and, let's say, courage said, okay, let's continue. And you must remember, when you're already at the bottom, there's only one way to go, and that is up. So when we were at the bottom, we waited and said, now we'll go up. Okay, so plan ahead. Okay. Okay, stay fit. Now you notice that image of Hercules? Yes. What do you show? Muscular, very fit person. Then see what is the message. When you're 950 years old, someone may ask you to do something really big. Now, of course, this is just a story. You won't be 950 years old, but you might be 60 or 70, like me. So then somebody might ask you to do something big, like, see, your director has asked me to come here. I'm doing something big. No? I'm here. And I'm 73. So, be prepared. Basically what you're saying, stay fit. So, physically and mentally, you should always keep yourself fit. Exercise, play games, mind games, physical games, read, learn. Stay fit. Okay. This is very important. Don't listen to critics. Just get on with the job that needs to be done. Now, again, I go back to Gates. There were a lot of people at that time telling us, oh, you are fools. What kind of business did you get into? I even remember one fellow writing a letter to us saying that, Gates is making soap, which is spelled S-O-A-P. But you wrongly spelled it as S-O-U-P, soup. people could not distinguish between soup and soap. That was the thing. Now, so we got all sorts of people saying, you are in the wrong line, get out, how much more money do you want to lose? Get out while you still can, and so on. Don't listen to critics. Just get on with the job. Now, next. So that, see, what did you see in the previous slide? It said that, plan ahead. It said plan ahead. It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark. Correct. Now, next is, when you're planning ahead, you'll hear this kind of thing. People say, oh, you idiot, what are you doing? So, don't listen, just get on with the job. So, where did the ark come to rest finally when the rain subsided? On a high ground. So, try to plan your future that you always have a position. If there are any setbacks, where should you be? So, if you are in a position where you have got minimum damage, minimum loss, you are on high ground. You are much safer than you might otherwise be. Okay, good. For safety's sake, travel in pairs. So we saw animals going in pairs, we saw humans rushing in. Why pairs? Why not alone? Anybody? Because two heads are better than one. Yeah, you wanted to say something?
In pair.
Can you repeat it, please? I didn't hear what you said.
To repopulate the world, and it's also better to be in pairs rather than stay in single. Alone.
Now make up your mind. Are you staying single because you don't want to get married?
No.
Or are you saying you want to stay single because you don't want a partner?
No. Alone, sir.
What? No, you don't want to be alone. Right.
Yeah.
See, if you always have somebody to share the path with you, whether it's up and down, all the setbacks, you are there to support each other. That is very helpful. If you're alone, you may get easily demoralized and feel defeated, and you may give up. But if you have somebody else alongside you who will encourage you, and each one will encourage the other, and thereby you can turn defeat into victory and failure into success.
Thank
Right.
you.
So, next. Okay. Very important. Nowadays, the modern mantras are that it is always, you must be very fast, very fast, very fast. For whatever, and if you are not fast, then other people will overtake you and you will be a loser. That's not true. So, you know the old story of the tortoise and the rabbit? Yes, sir. Yeah, who won? Why? One. Yes. But what did the rabbit do? See, the rabbit was overconfident. So confidence is good, but overconfidence is bad. Okay. So what do we see here? See, on Noah's Ark, he had a pair of all animals. Is that right? So he also had a pair of snails, the slowest creatures on earth. But he also had cheetahs, one of the fastest on earth. So speed isn't always an advantage. The snails were on board with the cheetahs. And both survived. So, while speed has its advantages and uses, it's not everything. So, you need not worry about being very fast all the time or being ahead of the competition. Sometimes it is better to take a step back. Okay. See, all of us suffer from stress. No? When you can't understand the subject, you are stressed. Then exam time, you're terribly stressed. Can't sleep. Have 10 cups of coffee. Have that pill. You would take pill to stay awake? No, I also never did that. I used to go and watch movies at exam time. Yes. But the idea is to chill. When you are stressed, float, chill. Recoup your energy, recoup your mental balance, be stable, and then resume. Okay. What does this picture tell you? How would you interpret this picture? Nothing? Okay. Okay, we'll give you a chance. Correct. Now, you see, who knows the story of the Titanic? Now, next time you raise your hand, no? Okay. Anybody else would like to tell us the story of the Titanic? Anybody knows? Yes?
My name is Vishwanath Jaswal. I'm from Kolkata. So, of Titanic, the story was like. Hello. So, in Titanic, we see that a boy who is having nothing, then also he is having so much courage inside him, and he helped a lot.
The movie Titanic. Have you all seen the film Titanic?
Yes, sir.
Then you should know the story.
Yes, sir.
No, see, okay, the Titanic was constructed as a luxury ocean liner, a passenger ship for the rich. Then it was built in England. I don't remember the date, but if you Google it, you'll get it. And it was a very huge luxurious ship. It was built, and it was said by the engineers who built it that this ship cannot sink. It is unsinkable. That was the claim. It is an unsinkable ship. And when it started on its very first voyage, with the high and mighty of British society, on that ship which they show in the film Titanic, you know, the huge, very opulent halls, dining rooms, the cabins for the passengers, you know, everything is all luxury. And it sailed for a few days. And then what happened? Overconfidence, it hit an iceberg. On its very first voyage, it hit an iceberg. And in a matter of few hours, it sank. And they could rescue only about 1,000 or some 1,500 passengers. The rest all drowned. Now, who was the Titanic built by? Professional, highly educated, skilled engineers with all sorts of tools and facilities to build such a ship. It's not easy to build such a ship. Who was the ark built by? But that survived. So, ark was built, remember, this is what happens because of overconfidence. So, not to be afraid that somebody has built a bigger ship, therefore you don't have a chance, that is not true. Next. Okay. No matter what the storm, if you believe in God, there's always a rainbow waiting. If you believe. If you are an atheist, then I don't know what a rainbow for you. So I hope all of you believe in God. Yes. By whatever name you call him. Yes. Right. Okay, now we finished this and it's already 4. So what would you say? Should I go? You're not bored yet? No, sir. You want me to continue? Yes, sir. Then you have to pay me overtime. Huh? Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, before you start, see the title. Who knows this story? See, all these things which I have brought are lessons for all of us to learn, which we generally tend to ignore, thinking, hey, what is this story? कुछ नहीं इसमें दम नहीं क्या सीखेंगे इसमें से? But that's not true. So that's why I'm asking, have any of you come across this before at any time? No? Okay. In nutshell, the story is this, that 5 blind men were taken to an elephant and asked to describe that elephant. So one fellow caught the tail, one fellow caught the trunk, one fellow touched the foot, etc. etc. Now, remember, they are blind. Now, how will they describe what they cannot see? But they can feel. So, the fellow caught the foot. Have you seen an elephant's foot? Yes. Yeah. He said, this is like a tree trunk. So, elephant is a tree. Right? Somebody caught the tail. Can't see anything, but he might have held a rope somewhere. So he's saying, elephant is like a rope. But elephant is neither a tree or no rope. Let's see the rest. So you'll see how, what happens when you don't pay attention. Now, here are the blind men, and there's the elephant. Right? Now, see, this is written in a very beautiful form of a poem, which you must read. 6 men of Indostan, what is actually Hindustan. It is written by a Britisher, to learning much inclined, who went to see the elephant, though all of them were blind. That each by observation might satisfy his mind. See the rhyming, right? Inclined, then blind and mind. Okay, go next. The first approached the elephant and happening to fall against his broad and sturdy side. Clear? At once began to bawl, God bless me, but the elephant is nothing but a wall. See the rhyme again. Correct? So what did this blind man say? Because you are touching the side of the elephant, it's very big. Right? So what does he say? It's a wall. Okay. Now let's see what the other guy says. They're so very round and smooth and sharp. To me, it's mighty clear. This wonder of an elephant is very like he of the second feeling of the tusk cried, oh, what have we? A spear. Now the tusk, if you see, is pointed at the end. It feels sharp like an edge, and the elephant does use its tusks to fight its opponent in the jungle. The elephant does do that. So, tusk. So what does he say? Elephant is a spear. Okay. Let's see what the third fellow says. The third approached the animal and happening to take the squirming trunk within his hand, said, quoth he, the elephant is very like a snake. Elephant is a snake. Okay, next. The fourth reached out his eager hand and felt about the knee. What most this wondrous beast is like is mighty plain, quoth he. It is clear enough the elephant is very like a tree. Okay, go next. The fifth, who chanced to touch the ear, said, even the blindest man can tell what this resembles most. Deny the fact, who can? This marvel of an elephant, it's a fan. Right. And the last got the tail. The sixth no sooner had begun about the beast to grow than seizing on the swinging tail that fell within his scope, I see, quoth he, the elephant is very like a rope. Now, one animal, 6 descriptions. What does that tell you? Again.
My name is Saloni Yadav. So it tells us that everyone has different perception. Different people, different perception. And the second thought is everyone will say that you have these qualities, you don't have these qualities, but we need to believe in ourselves.
Okay. Anybody else would like to say something? The girl side are active, the boy side are very quiet. Are you feeling shy or what? No? Oh, I think you had enough. I want to go. Okay. No, you see here, what it really the lesson that we learn from this is we should always take a complete and holistic view of any situation and not look at only one side or one angle of what an issue is. This is what you are going to learn in this thing. So, if anybody tells you one side of a story, there is always another side. But most of us are inclined to believe what we hear or what we might see or read as being the complete and whole truth and nothing else. That's not true. So, this is a very common human tendency to believe. And then, see, when we are with friends, when we are with people we trust, there is no reason to disbelieve them. So if they tell you that, for example, that this or that had happened, so why should you not believe it? There's no reason for you not to believe it. And you feel that since it has come from what you consider a very authentic source, a very reliable source, you don't want to double check. Not necessary. But that is the biggest failing. Not only you should double check, you should triple check. And try to see all from all sides, all angles, so that you get a complete, total picture of what it is that you are dealing with, and therefore will not make wrong decisions. Because you will be based, if your decisions are based on one part only, you can make bad mistakes and you can sink. So, the reason I brought this up is to see that we should always not be blind. We should not rely on others totally. Yes, certainly you should take views of people, but ultimately analyze, think for yourself. See, simple thing. If you want to climb a mountain, you know how to climb a mountain? Okay. Let's say you want to climb the Everest. Okay. So, you know how to do mountain climbing? I don't either. How would you go about it? Suppose you are asked to go to Himalayas to climb the Everest, what would you do? Yes? Yes. So first you will try to learn what is mountain climbing. Then you will see, make some efforts to learn. Then you will go to a little higher level. Then you will try to, because see, as you go higher and higher in the mountains, the air becomes thinner. There is less oxygen. You can't breathe. One of my friends recently in the Pune club went to Bhutan. And there, see, it's in the Himalayas. Air is very thin. He had to be hospitalized because he couldn't breathe. And he couldn't even be flown back to Pune because he was in a very critical condition. And I think ultimately after he came back, he died. Now why I'm telling you this is that preparation. Study, understand, gather information, look at all sides. Then, yes. Exactly, you learn. So, exactly, gather information. Yes. Exactly. So, you'll gather information, you'll plan how to go ahead, you'll see what equipment you need, what are the safety factors, what kind of food you will require. You know, would you carry oxygen cylinders with you? What if you fall ill? What if you fall down and get hurt? What is there for you? So, preparation and complete, all-round preparation. That applies to everything. I just gave you this example because it's a very simple and easy to understand example. So, now you have these two stories, Noah's Ark and the blind man and the elephant, right? Now, I leave the field open to you for questions if you have any. If not, then the door is over there. So I'll go through the door. Yes?
Yes. Jai Hind, my name is Ishika Das. So my question is, initially when you shared the story of GITS, so I would like to know, as you mentioned that initially the Indian customers weren't very open to ready-to-eat products. So was there any kind of criticism or challenges that the company faced? And
can you repeat your question?
So my question is, initially as you mentioned that Indian audience weren't very open to ready-to-eat products.
They were not open to.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Okay.
Yes. So, like, is there any criticism or challenges that the company faced? And
many. I gave you one example that
yes,
the difference between soup and soap. Then people said, that this contains preservatives. It doesn't. Then they say it is not hygienic. It is adulterated. So, all sorts of misconceptions were in people's minds. Now, even today, in Indian society, by and large, if you see, there is a lot of adulteration, bad quality, and bad products available in the market. If I've seen videos where people make what looks like milk out of paint or detergent. It's still happening. To make whole red chili look redder, they are using a dye called Sudan. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 types of dyes that makes the red chili look. It is toxic. So, in the same way, how many of you have eaten the South Indian appam? Appam. You guys don't eat applams or what? Who has eaten applams? You have? What's the specialty of appam? Can't hear you.
Jai Hind sir, I'm Sri Vaishnavi. Basically, I'm a South Indian, so I like the taste of appalam. It is made up of green chilies and salt, urad dal.
No, it's not. Anyway, urad dal is right,
Yes.
but not green chilies. Now see, what is the defining characteristic of appalam? When you fry it, incidentally, you cannot roast applams like you can do with lijjat papad. Appalam has to be fried. And the defining characteristic of appalam is that it swells, it expands. When you fry it, have you noticed? It becomes so big. Yeah, why? Why does that happen? You ever bothered to find out? In South India, all manufacturers of applams, without exception, add a toxic chemical called sodium tetraborate to that applam. It is toxic. They don't declare it in the ingredients because it is not allowed. It is toxic. It is that particular chemical, when it comes into contact with water, it becomes boric acid. And that is what causes the applam to expand. But nobody tells this. Now, when we did research to find out what is the factor that makes applams expand, it was not easy. So we did a lot of traveling into the interiors of South India, finding out what they are doing, who's doing what, where are they sourcing ingredients and all these additives from. Eventually, we found it, that it is sodium tetraborate. Then we bought the applams, the South Indian brands, and gave it to the recognized labs for testing. What did we tell them to look for? Sodium tetraborate. Because it is known that is the chemical they are using. Guess what? The labs couldn't find it. This is not there. Then we started thinking, very important to think. Said, what does this become? It becomes boric acid. Said, now look for boric acid. They found it. Boric acid was there. And we have got test reports of all the famous South Indian brands of applam, all have boric acid. That boric acid comes because they are adding sodium tetraborate. Okay. By contrast, when my associate firm, which is making a similar kind of product, we have developed an applam which does not add any kind of chemical or additive, and it yet expands, and it has the taste and characteristics of applam. So, what does this tell you? That whatever has been traditionally done, see, this must have been going on for, I don't know, maybe 50 years, 100 years and beyond. I have no idea. But all along this has been used. Nobody ever thought from generation to generation that this is wrong. You should not use this. You are poisoning the people. Let's find an alternative. Nothing. So, thinking and how to change. Look at our bullock cart. From 5,000 years, it's going on. क्या है? अच्छा है. क्या गलत है बुलक कार्ट में? Why should we go for rubber wheels? Why should we go for an axle? Why should we put bearings? क्या जरूरत है? See, it will reduce the burden on the bull, the animal. है ना? But where does it? Somebody attempted to do it in a government institute. They attempted to make a modernized bullock cart. It failed. People didn't want it. Any other questions? Yes.
Jain sir, my name is Vishwanath Jaiswal. I'm from Kolkata, West Bengal. So my question is, how can we keep on going? How can we sustain in a market for longer period in spite of so much of competition?
Good question. See, you cannot get rid of competition. So you have to build for yourself a kind of unblemished name and reputation like GITS has, that people will trust the name. See, in Pune, you've seen Pizza Hut. You've seen McDonald's. Have you seen KFC? Acha, you go there to eat? No? Why? You're too broke. Why don't you go? You don't have time. How wonderful. That means you are so busy, you are so much occupied with your studies that you don't have time to go and waste money there. Very good. I also, even Starbucks, 300 rupees for one cup of coffee. Cannot go down my throat. Impossible. However, see, these are known brands internationally and they inspire trust. See, I remember this, that when I used to travel in the interiors, at that time bottled water was not available. And I didn't trust the water that was available locally because it is always contaminated. So you can get sick. What did I choose to drink then? Since there was no bottled water, what was the other bottled alternative available? Coke. Although I did like Coke, I think it's terrible. But if I was thirsty and I couldn't get water, what would I do? I would take a trusted brand. So this is where you need to build. And remember, there are setbacks, you will make mistakes, competition will come, others will go, but you have to fight the good fight. You remember what we saw? The ark. So there's always, at the end, there's a rainbow for those who believe. Now, if we had not kept up the struggle, I wouldn't be here today. There would be no GITS. So if there's no GITS, then there was no me. So we went through thick and thin. Great struggle. No resources. No knowledge. See, knowledge is a very big resource. No knowledge. My father was only a trader, like a shopkeeper. But he had ambition and he had vision. He said, let's do this. He had no money either. So he started with the mindset of a shopkeeper. But what did he have? He had vision, he had ambition, and he had courage. So after so many hard knocks, I said it came to a point where GITS had collapsed. But he didn't give up. And that's why we are here today. So, and remember, don't worry, when my father ultimately established GITS, before that, he had tried half a dozen other businesses and failed in all of them. In each and every business that he tried, I don't want to tell you the story because it will take too much time. Maybe if he invites me another time, I'll tell you that story, if you want to know. Right? He failed in all those businesses. And in each of those failed businesses, he lost money. Finally, when there was nothing left, he sold my mother's jewelry. And in those days, gold was not costing 53,000 and 60,000 rupee tola. That's my phone, I bet. They're telling me to come back. Right? But in those days, no, why go that far back? When I was married in 1970, when was I married? I forgot. At that time, gold was 200 rupees a tola. So when my mother was married, it must have been 10 rupees. I'm presuming. All that gold he sold, because it is a tradition over here that when girl gets married, she gets some jewelry. Is that right? Yeah. So my mother also got some jewelry. So my father sold it off. What to do? Dhanda karne ka paisa nahi hai. But he didn't give up. The point here is, he didn't give up. He did not feel discouraged by the fact that all his previous ventures had failed. So I want to do this and I am going to succeed. So that's the kind of spirit if you have, then nothing will let you down. You will always rise. Okay. All right. Everybody? Anybody else? Or can I go? Okay. Everybody is quiet. That means they want me to go.
Thank you so much, sir. First, I would like to thank for quoting such motivational lines that when you are at the bottom, you only have one way to go, and it is to go up. Thank you for sharing two beautiful stories, that is Noah's Ark and the elephant and the blind man. It has surely given the students valuable lessons and that will help them as they advance in their corporate journey. I extend my sincerest gratitude to you, sir, for conducting this remarkable and enlightening session. It is certain that the students have gained an abundance of knowledge from the experiences you shared. We also express our gratitude to the students for their attendance and active participation. So thank you once again for your invaluable insights and we look forward to your next visit to our campus.